What is up, everybody? How's it going? Travis here, and we got a fragrance we're going to be talking about today from the house of, I hope I get this right, Lattafa. Okay, Lattafa. We have Oud for Glory. Now, I remember the first time I smelled this fragrance, I was at my buddy Alex's house, and he has a ton of fragrances. His collection is much bigger than mine, but he had told me about this one. He said, okay, now this one is like Oud for Greatness by Initio. It's like a spot-on replica at a fraction of the price. And I remember I smelled this fragrance and I had never really smelled anything like it. And I remember I was impressed. I really liked it, but I just kind of put it on the shelf and I forgot about it. So about a year went by since I smelled this fragrance, and I knew it was a cheapy gem, okay? So I was shopping on Amazon, as I do. I buy so many things off of Amazon. I mean, the people at the UPS store where I have my P.O. box, they know me over there because I go there all the time. I'm like constantly buying stuff. And so I ended up buying this on a whim, and once I got it and I smelled it, I was kind of kicking myself for not buying this sooner, because this fragrance is awesome. I mean, it's just awesome. Even to the bottle. I mean, when you look at this bottle, it is so epic looking. I mean, you look at this thing and you think it's like really expensive, you know, because it just looks like quality. And the scent is quality. You know, the bottle's quality, the scent is quality. And something that I'll talk about is with the note of saffron, okay? So one of the things as I was getting into fragrances that I noticed was there were these exotic kind of notes that my nose had never smelled before. And the note that was like at the top of my list was saffron. And in the West, you know, we don't really have a bunch of saffron going on. That isn't something that we smell in the daily. And even as like a essential oil, saffron is like the most expensive, you know? So I hadn't really smelled a bunch of saffron, and that's one thing that sticks out with this fragrance. So I have another fragrance that uses the note of saffron, Instant Crush by Mancera, right? When they use saffron in there, it almost gives it this syrup vibe, maple syrup, okay? But when I smell the saffron in this, it just has like that piercing quality to it, you know? It isn't like a mint or menthol, but it's just spicy, you know, kind of airy, spicy, really gets your attention. So we'll look at the note breakdown right now. But this fragrance is classified as an amber fragrance, amber woody, and it's beast mode. And so the notes that it has is saffron, like I mentioned, nutmeg, lavender. In the mid, we have oud, patchouli. And then in the base, we have more oud, patchouli, and musk. Another thing I'll mention about this fragrance is it's strong, like the projection is strong. I definitely think this kind of fragrance, and it depends on how heavy you go on the trigger, right? Because if you do a few sprays, you know, it might not project necessarily as much as if you do like 5, which, you know, I'm just gonna say, I think 4 sprays with this is great. 5 is plenty. You do 6 and I'm starting to get a little concerned, you know, because it's some strong stuff. And I definitely think this is the kind of fragrance that's like a 6-foot projection, maybe 8. Is it a room filler? You know, I think if you went heavy on the sprays, this could be a room filler. It could choke some people out. But it's not too heavy. And someone asked me, they said, hey, you know, can I wear it in the summer? And my answer is, if you're wearing it in the evening when it's a little bit cooler, I think this fragrance will go. So, you know, we're looking at like a 8-foot, 10-foot sort of range. It's definitely beast mode. It lasts a long time. And for $40 or however much you pick it up for, I really think this fragrance is a good value. Now, the last thing I'll mention, I really wish I would have picked this fragrance up sooner. And if you were to ask me, Travis, if you lost your entire collection, you know, what would be the fragrances that you would go to first, that you would pick up again? This would definitely be at the top of the list. I mean, I don't know if the very top. I would probably get this in Hawass, you know, and just roll with some Middle Eastern fragrances, because the strength, the power, I mean, I'm telling you, these Middle Eastern fragrances are just so good. And I've heard that with these, it's kind of good to let them chill on the shelf for a little while because they need time to macerate. But in the case of this, I mean, right from the gate, it was just going and it was strong. And so Oud for Glory, really like it. I would pick it up again, absolutely. Is it worth adding to your collection? Now, this is an interesting thing. It's at a price point where I think it's safe to blind buy. I think most people would like this fragrance, but if you're the type of person that doesn't necessarily like strong fragrances, you know, you might want to sample this first. You might want to give it a go. But if that sounds like you and you say, Travis, I like strong fragrances, I like things that have like a kick to it. I don't mind if it's like a little exotic. That saffron's cool. This could be right up your alley, and I would definitely say it's blind buy approved. That's for sure. But thank you guys for watching this video, listening to me talk about Oud for Glory, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.